We could be worrying now. We could be panicking now that we don't know how to respond, how to show up in this situation, that things look so terrible and we don't know what to do. And this is where logotherapy is so beautiful, because if you look even in Hebrew, the word lama, right? Why? Why is this happening? Why is this happening to me? When we ask these types of questions, we are stuck as a victim of our circumstances. Yet, when we change the vowels a little bit, and instead of asking lama, we ask lama, then we are asking a totally different question. How can I show up to this situation? I don't know why this is happening to me, but I want to show up as my best self. And this is what logotherapy teaches us how to do, how to show up in times of crisis and difficulty and challenge. And there's many, many stories, and over the next couple of days, we're going to be sharing lots of mini sessions on inspiring you on how to dig deep within yourself and find your strength inside you to overcome what's going on now. We can't say, why me, why us, why is this happening? Everyone has had losses and difficulties. Myself, I'm supposed to be in South Africa right now for my nephew's wedding, and that got cancelled. I'm still in Israel. And it's not about why me, why is this happening to me? It's what now? What can I do now to help others who might be having difficulties or challenges or hard times? This is what logotherapy teaches us to do, to dig deep and find our strength. How can we show up? And the truth of the matter is, we have no control of what's going on out there. The only control we have is on what's going on inside of me. How can I show up? What will my attitude be towards going on here, going on around us? And I'm sure all of us, as bad as we feel now, how horrible our situation is, there are people in worse situations than us. So there's always someone out there who we can give to, who we can share with, who we can try and inspire and encourage. And Dr. Victor Frankl was inspired by Nietzsche, who says, his quote was this: "He who has a why to live can bear with almost any how." So the big question is, we have to know what our why is. Because if we know what our why is, then we can show up. We can get through. We can reach the end of this difficult and challenging situation. And one of the hardest things from people I've been counseling and people I've been in contact with is people are saying they just don't know when this is going to end. If they knew it was for 2 weeks or 2 months, then they'd be fine. They'd be able to settle themselves. But they just don't know. And Dr. Frankl addressed this situation. He said if he knew the day he arrived at the concentration camps that it would be for 4 years, he would have been able to prepare himself better. But unfortunately, this is the nature of life. We don't know how long we will be in a situation. So we have to shift our lama, why me, to lama. What now? What if this is going to carry on for 2 more weeks or 2 more months or 2 more years? We don't know. But all we can do, and we hope it's not going to be like that, all we can do is we can show up the best person, the strongest person that I can be. So another story I'd like to share with you from Dr. Victor Frankl. He speaks about the first 24 hours when he arrived in the camps. And now he was a high, upstanding, respected neurosurgeon in Austria, and he was actually even given a visa to go to America, to go and escape Austria. But he actually decided to decline his visa because his ailing and aging parents were not given permission to leave. It was just him and his wife who were given permission. So he weighed up, what should he do? Should he go? Should he stay? Should he go? Should he stay? And actually, in the end, he decided to stay because after Kristallnacht, he went to visit his father, and his father was sobbing at the dining room table. And he said to his father, "What's going on?" He said, "Our synagogue was burned down, and all his father managed to save was a piece of marble from above the Aron Kodesh." And he looked at this piece of marble that was saved, and the marble was written on it, "Kabed et avicha ve'et imecha." It was the piece of marble from the 10 Commandments from above the ark. And Dr. Frankl looked at this and thought, this is my sign. I have to stay. And he made this decision to stay. And as he did that, I'm just checking my internet. I'm still good. As he did that, he found this inner peace within himself. He found this peace within himself, and this gave him the ability to stay. Can we just mute someone there? Okay, thanks. So what happened is, oh, you can't hear me? Okay, I'm talking. Okay, I'm talking. What happened is he arrived in the first 24 hours at the concentration camp. And when he got there, he was pushed into this line. First, all of his clothes and his coat and everything was taken away from him. And he had sewn in his jacket the manuscript to his life work that he had been doing on studying human behavior in times of struggle and difficulty. All of that was lost to him. His parents and his pregnant wife were sent off to the one side, and he was on his own. Not only had lost his family, now he's lost his manuscript. He'd lost absolutely everything. So he was standing in this line for the first meal, right? And what was dished up for him in this bowl without any cutlery was watered down soup. And inside his bowl was a disgusting fish head floating in his bowl. And he looked at this bowl and he just felt repulsed. I'm not eating that. Who do they think they are? Let me go and find someone to tell them I'm a doctor. Let's find someone who can give me some respect around here. And all of a sudden he stopped himself and he thought to himself, hold on a second. I've seen what's happened to people who think they're somebody. He's been seeing people being killed left, right, and center. And he said, I have two choices right now. I can look at this event and I can say, I can look at this bowl of soup and demand a spoon. I can look for this bowl of soup and I can demand extra food. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to look at this bowl of soup and I'm going to see that there is a fish head in it, which might look disgusting, but fish head is protein. And I'm going to look at that. It can be a nurturing meal for my soul and my body. And I need to keep my strength up. And so he had two paths which he could take in that moment. And he chose to go to the path where he could make his choices, where he could make the choices to live, to overcome, to get over the challenge that he was in. And actually, he then entered into the camps where he had in front of him his years of research where he'd been studying human behavior. He now had in front of him a human experiment where everybody was the same. No one had food, no one had clothes, nobody had names, nobody had hair, nobody had money, nobody had anything. Everybody was the same. And how come some people did better than others? We're all in the same situation right now. We're all locked in our homes. We all have what we have, right? But some of us are reacting differently to others. So logotherapy comes to teach us that we have choices. We may not be able to choose what's going on out there, but we can certainly choose how we deal with what's going on inside of us. So I wanted to just share with you, and over the next few days, we're going to be looking at different ways of how logotherapy teaches us different principles. But I wanted to just read one quote to you from Dr. Victor Frankl. And he says, "We who lived in concentration camps can remember the men who walked through the huts comforting others, giving away their last piece of bread. They may have been few in numbers, but they offered sufficient proof that everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way." And I think that this is what it boils down to. It's up to us to decide, how are we going to show up to day after day with more stricter boundaries and limitations being put on us? It's up to us to decide, how dare they? Who do they think they are? They're so stupid. Or I'm going to follow these things. I'm going to protect my family. I'm going to show up and I'm going to be the one who is helping others. You know, when we are shut down and our businesses are closed because we can't work with people, because we one-on-one working with people, you find a way. You get online and you still help people in the way that you can. This is showing up. This is showing up and doing that which you can, still offering your gifts to the world. And everybody has their gifts. everybody is given their tools to be able to show up in the world. And the fact that we all woke up this morning, right, is in itself a gift. It wasn't given that blessing to everybody around us. We wake up in the morning and we say, Modeh ani or Moda ani. This is a blessing where we thank God for giving us life. And this blessing ends off where we say, Rabba emunatecha. How much faith? Now, what are we saying? That we have faith in God? Is that what we're saying? No, we're saying how much faith God has in us to use the day well. So always when I teach my classes, I say I usually teach a class on a Monday, but today is Wednesday. So I always say to my students that, what are you doing with your Monday? And I'm going to offer that to you today. What are you doing with your Wednesday? How's your Wednesday going for you? Because you are actually in control of how Wednesday is going to turn out. You have a say to go that path of who do they think they are, or how can I show up and serve in this world? How can I take my gifts and my music and play it in the world? This is what we have the opportunity to do. So I also know that a lot of you, a lot of us, we're all over the world, we're stuck in our homes, and I'd love to suggest a magnificent movie to watch. It's called Unbroken, or it's a book that you can read. And for me, this is a book which is, and a movie which really highlights logotherapy principles. And it is all about, took place in the time of the Second World War, and of an Italian American. His name is Louis Zamperini. It's a true story, but how this man shows up with what is great inside of him that cannot be destroyed. And the truth of the matter is, we all have this inside of ourselves, that which can't be destroyed. It is the defiance of the human spirit. We all have it inside of us. And to just take a moment to just go inside and connect to that place inside of you, you will see and you will feel that you will get through the challenges and the difficulties that we're going through right now. To find a place of calm deep inside of yourself and say, yes, I can do this. I have been through. Everybody on this call, everyone who's listening to this has been through challenge and difficulty before, and there will be more challenges and difficulties again. But we have gotten through things in the past, and we need to access those places within ourselves and see that which I did then, what can I do to learn from then to make myself strong now? How can I access and bring meaning forth from the difficulties I've already been through to cope with what I'm going through now? So maybe that's a beautiful exercise for you to do after this video call, is to go and think about times when you thought, I can't cope, and in the end you did. Where's that place deep inside of you where coping lies? Try and access that place now where you felt, yes, I did it. I got through that. I didn't think I was so strong. My daughter has this sign in her bedroom that says, I didn't know how strong I was until being strong was my only option. Right? When we're pushed up against the wall, and we are pushed and we're closed in our homes now. We didn't know what we were made of until we are pushed into that place to come up with it. Rabbi Tat speaks about this idea also, and he says that the greatness that we all have lying inside of ourselves is often dormant. It just lies there as potential waiting to show up. Most of us don't wake up on a normal day and think, what can I do today to be great? How can I serve the world? What can I do to be awesome today? We don't wake up and think that. But when we are going through struggle and difficulty and challenge, and we are pushed to the limits of what we can handle, that's when we show up. That's when the strength in us is born. So we shouldn't run away from struggle and difficulty. And whenever I speak with people, I say, let's not look at this in our life as a stumbling block. This hasn't come to take us down. This could be an opportunity. It could be a stepping stone. It could be a wonderful way to move forward, connect with our families, to let go. Always people are saying, I've got no time to do this. I've got no time to do that. Well, you know what? We've all been given, we've been forced into time. We actually all have precious time as this gift that has been given to us. And the big question is, what are we going to do with our time? Are we going to fill that time with fear and worry and anxiety? Or are we going to fill that time with showing up, seeing how we can serve the world, how we can make our Creator proud of us, that which we are doing? So these are some of the ideas about logotherapy, and there are actually 3 principles which logotherapy is based on, and I've just dropped my points, so I want to just grab that. Okay, so the 3 things that actually, if you want to know where the word logotherapy comes from, it's made up from a Greek word which is logos, which means meaning, and therapy is therapy. It is finding meaning, therapy to find meaning in struggle, to help you find that strong place within. And we have all felt that place inside of us at some time. The fact that we have gotten through difficulty and challenge in the past means we have it in us. And what we want to start doing, and through continued talks and networking, we are going to be sharing ways of how you can access that point of strength within you. Okay, so these are the 3 principles of logotherapy, and over the next coming few sessions and talks, I'm going to be sharing these with you. So number 1, logotherapy says like this: life is unconditionally meaningful. We can find meaning anywhere. This is up to us. Attitude. Where are we going to find the meaning? Because there is meaning to be found anywhere. Number 2, we have the freedom to make meaningful choices. Okay? We can make meaningful choices, or we can make fearful choices. We have a choice of what we're going to do there. And number 3 is our strongest motivation is for our lives to have meaning and purpose, right? So this is, these are the core principles of logotherapy. This is what we want to do. We want to know that we have meaning and purpose. And I'm going to end off with one last story just to show how meaning is so important, and for you to dig deep and see why it's important for you to stay strong. There's a story told of 2 prisoners who were forced every day in prison to push a huge wooden log around and around in a circle with a stone in the middle. And every day he had to push and push. It was heavy, and he had to do this every day, all day long. And he was very despondent. But he had thought in his mind, perhaps underneath the ground there's a room where I am grounding down wheat grains to make flour. Perhaps there's something I'm doing to serve humanity. So every day when he pushed this hard burden and he pushed it around and around in circles, he showed up with the attitude of I'm serving the world. And this is what got him through. 10 years he was doing this until the day came where he was released. And he went up to his jailers and he said to him, please tell me, what's underneath the ground where I was pushing, for day after day, what's underneath there? And they said to him, there's nothing underneath there. And in that moment, he felt so broken. But imagine if he knew on that first day that there was nothing underneath there. How would he have showed up? Would he have even had the ability to live through a crisis like that? The answer is probably no. So we are challenged. Logotherapy and life challenges us to find meaning in absolutely everything we are doing. And the choice is up to us. So I think that's enough to sit with you tonight. And I'd love to just open up the floor for a couple of questions. And please feel free to write to me. I'll just say my website is www.dkwellness.co.il, and I'm offering also a 30-minute complimentary online session for anyone who wants to go into looking at their nervous system and coping with anxiety. I'm using imagery and somatic experience, and that's my gift to everyone out there. It helps me feel meaningful, and so please be in touch. Thank you.